What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? Two brothers were stabbed, one fatally, after an argument over some fish inside of a fish market in Harlem, New York. Buckle up, fam. This is a wild one. The footage shows Robert Bobby Burrow, 29, and his 25-year-old brother Malik Burrow brawling with workers at the Fish Express Fish Market on February 21st, rushing behind the counter and hurling a chair at the employees. Fishmonger Junior Hernandez is then seen lunging at the brothers with a knife, repeatedly stabbing the younger brother Burrell and then his brother as they back out of the store. Malik Burrell later died from his wounds, while his brother was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Hernandez, 34, was charged with murder in the melee, but Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg later dropped the charge, pending further investigation. Hernandez, a father of four, who claimed he acted in self-defense, still faces assault charges in the incident and is due back in court on April 4th, court records show. The deadly encounter began when Bobby Burrell entered the store to buy shrimp for a birthday meal, only to get into a dispute with the worker at the fish market. The surveillance video shows two employees wrestling with him as he appears to try to leave the store with a bag of shrimp, which he drops on the ground before taking a swing at one of the workers and fleeing the store. But the video shows him returning to the store with his younger brother, then storming the store, going behind the counter, hurling chairs at the employees and fighting with them. This is what Robert Burrell, their father, had to say about his son's death. "My baby's," the devastated dad cried. "It was Malik's birthday," he told the local newspaper. Bobby was at the shop picking up some shrimp for their grandmother to cook in celebration, he said. "My sons were good kids. They ain't get in no trouble. They not no hard criminals. I'm crushed, man. I'm hurt. I can't believe my boy was killed over some shrimps. They killed my baby on his birthday." He denied that his sons were trying to steal from the store, saying that nobody in his family needs to steal food. However, a witness said that Bobby was indeed trying to steal out of the store. He said the guy put a lobster down his pants. He said that when that happened, one of the workers came out and started wailing on him. And then a guy approached him, who he referred to as Junior Hernandez, and started just stabbing. So, who do you believe? We do see them throwing the chair, but we don't know at what point. I think I'm gonna ride with the witness. I think the witness was being impartial because he put blame on both sides. He said, yeah, the guy was trying to steal the lobster. I saw him. But these guys came out and started wailing on him, and the other guy just started stabbing him. He said nothing about him getting hit with the chair. Nothing about getting hit with a chair. Here's the thing, fam. You know, I think it's very important for people to kind of like measure risk versus reward when they do things. And I know this is not always possible because a lot of times we are human beings, and oftentimes we act off emotions, like we act in the moment, right? We act in the moment. And sometimes in the moment, you don't have time to say, well, I'm gonna do it like this, I'm gonna do it like this. And if I do this or if I say that, this could happen. You don't have that time. But what you could do is practice a series of hypothetical events that could happen in your life, situations that you could find yourself in, and train your brain to think what's the best way to handle this and get the outcome that I want, right? Again, not always possible, easier said than done. However, it can be practiced where you can mitigate your losses and your misfortune if you just be intent about how you move in this world. Because everybody ain't playing. And what I like to do is think about what's the worst that could happen? If I do this or that, what is the worst that could happen? Oftentimes when you're talking about conflict, when you talk about contact, but let's stick with conflict because a lot of times people get killed by just running that mouth. So let's just go with conflict. A lot of times when it comes to conflict, the worst thing that could happen is death. You can kill somebody or somebody can kill you. And you have to say to yourself, if I die, would dying over this be worth it? Is that something to die over? And when you look at it, most of the time, most of the people we're walking on right now who were murdered, an argument ensued before they were murdered, whether it was in the moment, whether the argument happened a day prior, a week, a month, even a year. Sometimes people don't forget. They come back and get you. So usually there's some type of argument that ensues prior, and then it escalates because most people don't have good conflict resolution skills. Most people are not effective communicators. Most people, in my opinion, have anger management issues. And this is what gets a lot of people in jams. Now, the witness says that he tried to steal. Even if he did try to steal, the guy who killed him, although he thought he was justified in the moment, right now is totally regretting that he took that man's life over trying to steal shrimp, if that's indeed what happened. Now, some people might say, well, you know, you're trying to make it seem like it ain't a big deal. I mean, stealing is stealing. You're right. And when it happens to you, especially if it's happened before, then you don't want to be always the victim, right? And, you know, you want to protect what's yours. And you have a right to protect what's yours. You have a right, absolutely have a right to protect what's yours. But what I would not want to do, I would not want to have on my record, is I killed someone over a bag of potato chips, which is something that happened to a friend of mine's cousin when I was like 7th grade. This little kid was, I think, 4th grade or something like that. So we're talking about a 10-year-old boy. He claimed tried to steal a bag of potato chips out of the store in the hood, so you know what the people look like who killed him. They killed him over a bag of potato chips, which cost about 25 cents at the time. 25 cents. This is what I'm saying, fam. I would not want on my record that I killed a kid over 25 cents. You know, there are some other things that you can do to avoid or in place of taking a child's life over stealing a bag of potato chips. Really, when I think about that, it lets me know how petty you must be, how little you value human life. Human life is just more important to me than that. But what say you, fam? I want to know what y'all feel about this. Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?
Yeah.